Hey, welcome to the channel. Today we are making Blackberry Cheesecake wine. It's awesome. It's awesome. Let's dig into it, huh? Alright. So, right here I've got three pounds of blackberries, my water. We got some bentonite. I like to put that in early. Helps with the clearing in the end. Doesn't harm anything, and you really want it in before your additives, because it seems like it might pull a little bit of the flavor out. I don't know that they're positive or negative charged, but it does seem like some of the flavor comes out. So this is just a pan sanitizer water for my stuff to keep everything clear. Here we've got our sanitizer. I'm drying it now. Measuring spoons, some wine tannin, some acid blend, paper towels to dry off my teaspoons. We got 4 pounds of sugar. We're gonna guess the end. 18% ABV. A lot of people don't like to go that high with blackberry. It is very good. It is so good. It gets the jobs done, and it is delicious. So to get started here, I like to start with the yeast bomb. So this is just a little bit of water, just filtered water out of the fridge, heated it up a little bit, threw in about a tablespoon of sugar. Help get our yeast going here. Now the reason I like to do this is, if you're new, this is my 5th brew, by the way, folks. If you're new at brewing, you don't want a whole bunch of problems halting you along the way. Okay, so we don't want to guess if our yeast is good. We don't want to get a stall. We're going to have enough problems starting out as it is. So I'm not going to use a half packet either. Okay, I understand that you can, and you can if you want to. It's a great way to be cheap, save some money about it. But if you're new, we want to keep the problems down to a minimum as possible. Okay, so by using the whole packet, we know we get a solid yeast colony. We also have a visual check that it's good to get us rolling, so we're not guessing along the way, because we just started doing this, right? Helps with troubleshooting in case a problem does arise. So I'm just going to go ahead and toss these in there. Let them get nice and comfy. They got a little bit of food in there with that sugar. Just kind of spread them around. You don't really have to stir it. You don't have to do anything. These folks they're going to get down and dirty. Hopefully down and clean. Alright. Now, this is something I did last time, just out of curiosity, and I'd like to do again this time. I was very curious about how much 2 teaspoons, I believe that's what this says. No, it's a half teaspoon to a gallon. So this is a 2-gallon fermenter. We're going to go with 1 teaspoon. And I'm going to show you guys what 1 teaspoon will actually do to your brew, because you're looking at it and you're going, this powder, what? You know, just 1 teaspoon? How much difference could it make? And we can get a nice visual on this because we're not using juice today, we're using fresh fruit. So, dry this off real good. I'm sure I got it good and dry. None of my stuff is clumped yet, so yay. And there we go, 1 teaspoon going in. Go ahead and put the lid back on it so I don't get any spillage going on here. Alright, we're going to toss in our gallon. This is just drinking water. I'm going to be honest with you. I've hauled to the drinking water, Nestle, Life Water. I've hauled to Ozark water, if you couldn't tell. Yeah. And this ain't no different than tap water. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. In fact, some of these brands, the drinking water, that's all it is. Facts. So really I could have just took my bread, and I will, to do the difference. You could just take your Brita filter water so you got as much junk out of it's filtered as you could. I would recommend spring water. Some of your spring water actually does come from springs. More of it than you'd think. It doesn't. But anyway, I digress. So we're going to throw this whole gallon in there because I know I need it, and why not? Actually, I do need to sanitize me a plain lid here. Get this tucked in there. 30 seconds it needs before we shake this up real good. Just let it sit in that sanitizer water for a moment here. Check on our yeast. They're doing their thing. They don't look too angry about nothing. All right. There we go. This is nice and sanitized, so toss this on here. I usually pour the sanitizer foam out. I should have done that. You can't really taste it. We'll just give this a quick shake here. Now, no more effort than I put in 1 gallon. Look at that water. That's how much 1 teaspoon does to a gallon. And some of it's stuck in the bottom down here. I haven't even shook all of it out. Probably should have added the water first. We got plenty of shaking left to do because see how it's even gotten darker. There's no point in over shaking to death right now because we still have sugar to add. So we're gonna go in next with our sugar. And I'm gonna add the whole thing. Whole 4 pounds. I'm probably gonna end up needing some more. I've made this once already, that's how I knew it was good. Wish I remembered how much more I needed. Now I don't have a scale, which is why I'm just doing this the easy way. I use cups. Cups works. As long as you've got a gravity, a hydrometer to measure the gravity, you're gonna be all right. Look at all that displacement just from adding the sugar in. Crazy, isn't it? All that good food for the yeasty beasts. Look at them going there, getting nice and foam, so we know these are alive. Getting down on their rubber, give her a little swirl. Help them hydrate a little bit here. There we go. They're doing their thing. So I'm gonna edit this next part out. Y'all don't want to see me shake. I shake about as bad as I'm gonna shake this thing up. So when we get back, the sugar will be shaked in. The water should be even a little darker because of what was stuck at the bottom. And when we come back, we'll get to throwing in our blackberries. All right, folks, and we're back. Everything's nice and shaken up. You can tell just how much change the wine tannin has created to our wine here. So the next thing we're going to do before we go any further, check out our yeast. Nice and foamy, I like that. Almost stuck it in the thing there like a gidget. Alright. So before we go any further, I have overfilled these things before, and I'm likely going to this time as well. Which I have a special lid that I made for this. Again, 5th brew, folks. That's just a testament. If I can do it, you can do it. I like to shake as much of the sanitizer water as possible out of this here. And we're just going to set it in there. And then I like to take the top here and kind of cinch it up. Now these blackberries are fall. I know you guys are going, that's all the blackberries you're going to put in 2 gallons? That's not a lot, buddy. and I'd actually agree with you. But what I like to do is in secondary, you guys will see, I'm going to put another 3 pounds in. I'm going to take these out, new bag, or different bag. I don't think they're new at this point. Second time doing this and all. There we go, got that one out. Get this one in there. And we're going to add them in frozen. Now, why would you add them in frozen? Well, one, it's done. Right? Once we get it dry, putting frozen blueberries, it's not going to hurt anything. If anything, it'll help put those yeasties to sleep. And perfectly fine with me. The reason I'm not putting more in this time is because last time, with these nut bags, you're only going to be able to fit 3 bags of these in it. Now, because these are thawed, I could probably put another bag in. But this is all Walmart had. I bought every bag they had. And then more, sadly. Or I would have went with 2 more bags. We would have went with 8. Actually, you know what? Even thawed out, it's looking like this is going to get pretty. Because you want to be able to cinch your bag up real well. Okay. There we go. As you can see. Now last time it was full all the way to the top because they were frozen. It was kind of hard to cinch this up. When I cinch it up, I like to wrap. So you take it, tighten it up, wrap it around the top here. And then as I wrap, I'll take my finger here, okay? 2 solid wraps. And we're going to tuck in. Tuck them in. There we go. And then just pull it tight. Just like that. It's nice, it's together, no problems. Now this is about the head space that I want. I want a little bit more than that, but before we go any further, let's take a reading. Now this is a Fermentech hydrometer. I don't recommend buying them, and I'll show you why here directly. You know what? Before we dig into that, let's give it one more good shake. You guys can see me shake all about alongside it this time. I'm just gonna give it a, make sure the lid's on good. Oh, look at that color. That's only half of what we're putting in. Look at that color, folks. Look at how it changed from that brown muddy water to what we've got now. There we go. Alright. So back to checking our reading here. The reason I don't recommend Fermentech, you will see in just a moment. Fun in the sun. Now this is what made me get more last time. See how light colored that is? I don't know if you guys can see very well. It's very light. But this is just beginning. Not much is leached out yet. Obviously, there was a little juice from the being thawed out and cell walls being burst and stuff because they're frozen. Now the last time I used the Oregon black cherry in the can, and that is just crazy expensive. I don't recommend doing that after the shrinkflation. You're gonna spend so much money on it. It's scary. This is a far better way to go about it. Probably. Here's the reason why I don't like buying Fermentech. This is why you don't buy Fermentech. Now let's just put in a sanitized lid, sanitized thing. It's leaking all over like a sieve. Never fun. I usually keep a saucer, honestly. Alright, let's make sure we're free and clear of everything. It's always so dark in here, I have trouble seeing. So it's sitting at nearly 18%. So if I was going to go off of the other reading, it's sitting at 1.13. So sitting around 1.132, 1.134. And actually I'm okay with that. So it's a little under 18. It's a little under what this could do. I could go get a half a cup, make up the difference, but it's a lot of trouble, a lot of gobbledygook. Now I've made this before. You don't need a whole lot. The recommendation on this is 1 teaspoon to a gallon, but because black cherries are already kind of tart, I'm only going to go in with 1 teaspoon to the whole gallon. That's really all you need. But we're going to put a solid teaspoon in, okay? So it's a little bit of a heat. It's a little over. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. We'll just kind of sprinkle it around. Make it a little easier to shake in. We're going to go with the next thing that I like to go with. This is just a bit of hot water. Now that is going to, again, dilute the ABV. I might get, I don't know, 4 tablespoons just to make up for the sugar loss of what's here. That's about about a cup and a half, 2 3/4. I'm going to make sure I had enough. But again, I like to put the bentonite in now. This is gonna clear up so nice. It's gonna blow your mind. Again, just when we do the bentonite, we want to go very slow. And the reason we go very slow is because it really loves to clump together. This stuff is very hard to kind of work with, really, but it is worth it. The difference is crazy. From my first brew to every brew I did after, actually. Just shake it up real good. Now this stuff you do have to put some love into and really shake it up, okay? Because this stuff loves to clump, you see, and you would think it's all gone, but look, if you can take a look at the bottom there, I don't know if you can see, still a lot of particles. Now this stuff isn't really a chemical, it's just a clay. That's why I like using it. Okay, if you're making a brew and you want to share it with someone, do you want to have to go, hey, are you allergic to shellfish? And you're gonna go, why is there shellfish in the wine? And you're gonna go, oh, I use super clear keto sand and whatever that other stuff is called. Do you want to go, you know, hey, you okay with shellfish? You ain't allergic, are you? And in my time at the liquor store, I learned there are some people that know about it and will not buy wine with it in it. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I'm not allergic. But I did come across that once. I thought it was wild. At the time, I didn't know enough about wine to be able to help that person. I had to get another associate at the liquor store to help them, but now I understand why they were asking. Alright, let's see where we're at. Oh yeah, far less in there now. And that's hard for y'all to see. Alright. And we're just going to go ahead and pour this in all over. Since that's sanitizer water, this is just, we can add that. It's going to dirty the water up a little bit, but that'll be alright. Why not? There we go. Alright. I'm gonna shake this up again real good one more time, and we'll be right back. All right, that was a workout. We're back. Now, I went ahead and added another cup of sugar to this, because if we're gonna use element 118, let's use it. You know what I mean? Let's not go, hey, it's around 17. Let's get her on up there. Let her do what she's meant to do. So I'm going to take another measurement. I also added something that's very controversial, Ferment K. Now, I understand a lot of you people are worried about chems. So am I. Literally over there I've got your ites and eights. So I've got both of them. I haven't even opened it yet. Again, 5th brew only, but that's meant for a different kind of brew. It's not needed. But if your kids need their Flintstone vitamins, you give them their Flintstone vitamins, folks. Your personal feeling, all that gobbledygook. We don't be scared of chemicals. We just be aware of them. And we be conscious, self-conscious of what we're using. Okay? If it weren't for chemicals, your refrigerator wouldn't work and you wouldn't be as old as you are right now. Everyone survived because of chemicals. That's why we're so old, okay? We don't get scared of it. We just be aware and pick and choose when to use them. And me personally, if my kids need their Flintstone vitamins, I'm gonna give them their Flintstone vitamin. You know, breast milk's good for kids, not so great for adults, okay? Now, oh, look how much that color has changed, how much darker just shaking it up has gotten it. That is so nice. I'd love to see it. Now, again, that's only half of what we're going to throw in here. This stuff, I've already made it once. This is so good, folks. You're going to be glad you made this recipe. Alright, let's go ahead and put that in there before I overload it again like last time. And again, oxygen's good until 20% sugar depletion. Excuse me, adding oxygen is good until 20% sugar depletion. Alright, let's take a look, see where we're at. So before I was at 1.132, 1.134. Oh, we definitely kicked it up a notch here. Not too bad. We compensated from the water of putting this in, and that's not terrible. So we're sitting at 1.3, 1.138. Which when we take this out, and we go 1.13, 2, 4, 6, 8, we're sitting at 15, 16, 17, 18, about 18.2%. Which is fine because look at our beautiful yeast here, folks. Look at how that's bloomed, how nice they've gotten. They're so happy. Now, this is something I like to do. This is their home. This is pretty pure. It's just water and sugar, things they love. I like to get them acclimated to their home a little bit. So we're going to take this and we're just going to throw a little bit of it in there. Right on top of those healthy yeasts. It's fine, it's not going to hurt them none. Now, yeah, the DAP is in there, the Ferment K and stuff. Again, it's nutrients. We are more than happy to give our chitlins their proper nutrients. And get them used to the world. This is the world. That was me coddling them, taking care of them, helicopter dadding them, okay? Now we've introduced them to a bit of the world, what the world that they're going to live in actually looks like. To me, that's just goodness, right? We didn't just toss them into the wolves. We gave them just a little taste, just a little taste. Now, since I went over 18, I was thinking about adding a little more water to get it all the way up to where I like. But, it should be fine where it's at on this fermenter, but I'm going to go ahead and put this homemade blow-off valve that I made so you guys can see what it looks like. It's real simple to make, and if you think it's cool and useful, I'll show you how to make it. We'll do a short video on that. It don't take too long, but leave a comment down below. I'll show you here. Well, right now, give me just a moment. So this is my homemade blow-off valve. So it's just another lid from the fermenters, some hose, and part of a carburetor, and that was it. And this has been soaking in sanitizer. Don't get that up. Did close it, I believe. That's been soaking in sanitizer water. That's where I went to go get it. I have some sanitized water where I put the jar and the big things, and I just keep this here for as I go along, keep everything nice and clean. Now, normally I would like to give them a little more time than this to get acclimated to their home, but for video purposes, for the sake of content, we're gonna go ahead and toss these nice youngsters in. And because nobody likes to leave no man behind or their children, we're gonna go ahead. Again, oxygen's good at this point, we don't worry about that. And we're just gonna take and kind of squirt around the edges here. Get those yeasts back down to where we can toss them in. Get as many of them as possible, doing their duty for us, like proper soakers. That's good enough. Again, we use the whole packet, so if we lose a little, we've still got plenty working here, and we know they're good. At this point, I could shock them, and let them rock and roll, but why do that? We can give them a nice little give them a little tenderness, you know what I mean? Why shake them all about like we don't care about them? We can give them a little rock, rock-a-bye babies in the brew pot, brew ferment. Just doing stuff here, folks. Not everything makes sense. Alright, that ought to be good enough for them. They ought to be good and happy. Alright, so we got our bentonite in. We've got our nutrients. We've got our water. We've got our ABV where we want it. Now all we got to do, put a cap on her. And I'm going to go ahead and use my blow-off valve. Though I suspect I won't need it for this one. I usually do fill it a little bit higher than that, but I think all in all we'll be alright. We're also going to gain juice because when we take the bag out and put another one in, that's going to obviously add more juice to it, more liquid. So it's going to save us problems by not adding more now just to get it to the top. And even though I have a blow-off valve, I can fully take it almost all the way up to the rim and get all the oxygen out and not have to worry about it. We don't need to do that because we're going to come back in with another 3 pounds of blackberries to really boost that flavor up. And look at the color here, folks, by the way. Just look how darker that's already gotten just from shaking it up. It's going to look even better here directly. So here's the blow-off valve, and then I'll just use the same one. And I'm just going to set it there for right now. We can do that off screen. Just going to put some sanitizer water in. I'm going to get all the bentonite out of it first. Make sure it don't stick onto the glass where I can't scrub it off. And that's it for now. So hey, welcome back to the channel. So this is going dry. It's 0.994, somewhere around there. But these are also set to 60 degrees, and it's 74 in the house. So yeah, Goofus, I love you too, buddy, but I can't be petting you. I got stuff I gotta do. You know, make me have to sanitize my hands. Which I do have some sanitizer over here. That's enough, buddy. Sorry about that, folks. He gets excited thinking he's going for a walk. Alright. So it went dry, 0.9945, somewhere around there. Racked off. Here's the empty. As you can see, no problems with the bag, no problems with the fruit. Everything looked great. I thought about showing it. Figured you guys probably wouldn't care to see that. Leave a comment if you would. If there's something I left out you'd like to see, leave a comment. We have a little bit of the excess here. I may actually not have left enough out to make room for the honey, so I might end up with another sip. It's actually not that dry. This is something you can make. If you didn't have the money for the additives here, and you just want a really good one, blackberry is way better than cherry, I can tell you that right now. I'm thinking about doing a different kind of cherry. I was going to pit them against each other, seeing as how the cherry cheesecake that's out there is really outdated with the new price of things, and I don't think it's the most efficient way to make a good brew. Not in 2026 anyway. So it's due for an update. But I don't think I'll have enough cheesecake essence left over to turn that into. But this is a good video for Christmas in July. So I think that'll be the series, because by the time you check out a new channel and you have time to brew and you have time to set and you have time to share and bottle, it'll be near Thanksgiving if you started from the time I release this video. Yeah, Christmas in July sounds like a good beat. Now, I've made this before, as I said earlier, but because it was so good earlier, I'm going to make this a little sweeter than I did last time. Last time I left it at 1.22 on the hydrometer reading. Today I'm going to shoot for 1.35. Now we may go a little over, we may end up a little under, but that's essentially the goal we're going for. So in a gallon and a half, that would be a pound and a half. So again, we don't have a scale, so we'll just be eyeballing it. As I said, I made this before. The last time, I can tell you, this needs at least two tablespoons of your cheesecake. And I like to add this first because you're going to spend so much time stirring the honey that it kind of helps blend that in. Since I know that's the minimum that I need, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the very first thing. This, I think I went with 3 last time, 3 tablespoons again. We're going to go with 4 this time. We're going to use a good bit of this bottle up. As you can tell from what I used last time, it was very hard to tell any graham cracker in it at all. Every now and again, you take a sip and be like, I think that's a little graham cracker, and it was just way too muted. So let's get started, dig in. And again, the first thing, 2 tablespoons. Now this has all been sanitized. I just set it here. I know I don't have my sanitized tray here today. I didn't think it'd be necessary for no more than what we're doing, because we're going straight from this to pasteurization. Oh, we got 1 tablespoon. This is the big boy. And 1. Get all that good stuff in there. And 2. And we'll set this aside for now. Excuse me, I have some bad sinuses. My fuzz bucket buddy down there. Or the big goofus. Alright. So this time, like I said, I went with 3 last time. We're going to go with 4 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Practice my pour here. Actually spilled some this time. I did a better job of being clean. Maybe I just wiped it off. Forgot that I did. Alright, so seeing as how we still have all this honey to add, there's really no need to taste this right now because I've done it before. But if you haven't made this before, by all means, 1 tablespoon at a time. A tablespoon is not gonna, you're not gonna go way over on a gallon and a half. You're not gonna go way over on a gallon, okay? So you can tablespoon it at a time, taste it, but of course add your honey first, right? We want to get our honey to the appropriate level here. And I'm going to be generous because the more I stir, the more oxygen I'm adding. So we're going to get as close as we can to right on point. And if we go a little over, that's okay, folks. If we go a little under, that'll be okay too. It does cause for a lot of stirring all at one point in time. I'm going to go just a little bit further. I think that'll do it. Come on now. It's good stuff. Alright. Again, it's clean towel. Everything's been sanitized. You can tell by how much honey I put in. I may not have took enough out. We'll be just fine if I didn't. And you could also, I could have just threw a little honey in this, took a gravity reading of where I liked it, and then I would have known the sweetness at the very least. Now that would help with the extracts. It would be very easy to take a partial cup and go way over. But you could get your honey to the proper sweetness and use this off your gravity. That I did do last time. So last time I had enough left over for near a full bottle, and I just used the bottle as my gravity reading for the sweetness. And because I actually like this dry, as you can tell, drinking it dry, and it's very good. I left it a little, not as sweet, but that sip that I had earlier was so good. I'm like, let's give it a whirl. This is one thing that I hate. Our local Walmart does not have a spoon to where I don't have to use a metal one in glass. Which I think I stated that before, but I may not have showed those videos. I don't think I did. I think I just used them as practice. Try to get a little less ums. My bad on the ums, folks. And the ands and whatnot. Now it's bubbling right now. Let you know it's still active. This set, by the way, for about, I think it was 5 days after I put the frozen fruit in, and like I said, it wasn't done at that point in time, so it could have set a little longer, but I wanted to get the fruit out after 5 days. Now we're going right into pasteurization afterwards, so we're going to shut down the fermentation directly. It's not going to be the end of the world or a big deal, and because we're sweetening it up pretty aggressively in a shot, we're not going to be all day about stirring it. Also, if you don't get it all stirred in, for one, you just take your spoon out. It's really easy to tell on metal. Yep, that's honey still on there. A whole bunch of honey still on there. Sadly, I'm almost having to get my fingers in this, which is something I really didn't want to do. Thought about buying a spoon from Amazon, but a little in a pinch for money, and when you can't see what you're buying, I don't really trust that. So I may try Goodwill. I don't think Five Below has anything like that really. Yeah, Walmart didn't have one that wasn't a combination wood that was long enough. Again, I need one longer than this. Good shoulder workout, folks. I'm trying not to get my fingers in there, but it's okay. They've been sanitized here. Everything was sanitized. And of course, as you sanitize, it soaks in your skin. So even though I did lick the honey off and stuff, it's going to be alright, folks. Plus it's alcohol. It's darn near come down in ABV a little bit because I put the the honey in it and displacement. But if we're being honest, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a nice solid swirl too. I want that. You can actually smell the graham cracker too. Nice. Couldn't even smell it last time. So I should have probably paid attention to how close this was getting up there, and stopped a little sooner, just to keep my fingers out of it. But again, I've been soaking in sanitizer, guys, and I'm floating just above. I'm not putting my grubby fingers in the brew here. Let's not be nasty. This is going to take a while just because of how much honey, but we're getting very close. Very close. This stuff acts like a sponge when it's dry. The thickness of the honey makes it want to not to. And also, like I said, when I pasteurize here in a minute, whatever's in the bottom will kind of boucher because you didn't blend it in. But because it also is heating up, it will blend in naturally. So it's not like it's going to clump up in the bottom and just burn to a crisp. It will just heat up and then mix in. Still got a little bit of honey down in the bottom here. These jars are kind of funny shaped, so they dome in the center. That's kind of what I'm worried about. Trying to get in that corner there. I think that's pretty good though. Hand cramp. And of course I got my saucer because our lovely Fermentech want to leak all over the place as it will. And this time because it's done, we don't want to apply any oxygen into our brew. So as you guys can tell, it's already leaking, dripping all over the place. Before I go any further, let's get our handy dandy hydrometer in there. Get it stuck in. Alright. Let's see what it reads at. This is reading at 1.28. So, yeah, everything was sanitized, so we're okay. But since it's so close to the top, we want to keep our fingers out of it. How dare I? Oh yeah. I'm gonna double check. Make sure we got as much of that honey stirred in. I don't want to be too lazy about it. Yeah, it does look really clean. I kind of do wish I had had my thing, but the towel's clean, everything's clean. We should be alright. I don't think I want to add any more than that right now. Don't worry about putting the lid on there. Well, greedy about it, folks. Right on. Right on. Alright. We did need space because the honey we just put in. It's working out nicely. Other than the hand cramp. Good night. This is where I wish I had. I did buy a stir. They're too aggressive, folks. If you're not dealing with the smallmouth, the bigger fermenters, I would not get any of the stirring ones, any of them. They're all way too aggressive. It wasn't even about the air, it was about the forcing of the liquid. It's so aggressive on a big mouth that you just end up, if it was, you would want way less in there. You would almost want to, it makes everything else more difficult, so why do that on yourself? That was money that I wasted. I may still show the unboxing. Leave a comment if you'd like to see the unboxing. The video is really bad, or the audio is, but I could audio over it and show you the unboxing. I did do a video of it. I just considered it practice. Practice makes perfect. I'm really not a fan of metal and glass just because you can create micro fractures in it, but you know, make do with what we have and just try not to be too wily with it while you're doing it. That's all. We don't have to run like a chicken hawk. I'm a chicken hawk. Alright. Yeah, I like the idea of the stirring mod. Obviously that's why I bought one. But just $8 wasted. You're gonna do this anyway. Spend that $8 on the experiment. You know, measure out what you got from your house, stick it in the jar before you load it with anything, and then try to get one off of Amazon that will give you measurements. Alright, that looks pretty. We just about got it done there. Get a little smack down all around. And oh yeah. Alright, that looks good. So again, we don't want to put any oxygen in now. We don't want to put this in. Let's go ahead and put this in. There we go. Yeah, I know you told me because you ain't talking for a walk. You'll be alright. Oh, you huffing and you puffing. We might go for a walk later. Let's see what it's at. So we were sitting at about 1.28. Now we're sitting at let's make sure I got the range right. 1.36. So we're so close now. Well, before we call that good, let's see. Is it good? Firmtech. So cool. You know, I think as it ages, because I can taste the honey. I'm really kind of happy with that. Yeah, just in case I did get it all stirred in, we'll call it good. And once it's aged a bit, after it's been pasteurized, we'll take another reading, final reading, right? And that will give the honey time to get blended in to make sure it was true. So I said 1.36. We should be very close to that because I can taste the honey and it's hitting. The alcohol is going through a little bit, and there's the rough. I like to call it the rough. They call it the young on different channels. I just call it the rough. The rough will age out. Some of the rough is here in the cake. We'll get another yielding of cake because after pasteurization, we'll put it in the fridge once it's come down to temp. And chill out, Goofus. That wasn't dinner, son. So after pasteurization, we'll go ahead and let it come down to temp. We'll throw it in the fridge, and that will help more sediment come out of it. Now, the last time I put the bentonite in at this point, I think the bentonite pulled flavoring out of it. I don't know that that's accurate. One test is not enough. That's why I put the bentonite in primary this time. The last time I put it in right now, I'm starting to think that maybe putting it in secondary is even better. Which we discovered it wasn't dry. I should have just yanked the blackberries out of it, let it finish on its own, then put the next set of blackberries in cold. Now, it didn't cause a stall, it started right up that same day. That's the power of element 118. Gotta love that stuff. That stuff is just a monster. I mean, it is, it'll chew through anything. I didn't put any feed, no fermented, nothing after the initial setup of the brew. So after the initial stage, there was no step feeding it at all in any way, shape, or form, and they just rock and rolled. All I did was make sure that the fruit stayed wet, the blackberries stayed moist, and that's all I had to do. And it did its own thing, and all you gotta do is let it sit, let it rock and roll, and you come out with a product. These blackberries, I can tell you right now, between Welch's, between cherry and blackberry so far, which is the three that I made the Welch's multiple times. We're gonna make it one more time. We're gonna show you guys the best starting brew a new brewer could do that is very unique, very interesting, very simple, coming up very soon, very soon. But man, that's just good. I'm gonna be honest with you though, I have so little left, it's not even good for another brew. I kind of want it to be a little more cheesecake forward, so we're gonna put however much is left here. So it's almost another. Alright, so we added one more, and then again, because the graham cracker, I'm just gonna add one more. Okay? We don't want you guessing. We don't want you to go, oh, that's blackberry with some, what is that? We want you to go, wow. Okay? We want it to be a slap in the face. I forget exactly how many that is, but we'll do a rundown at the end, and I'll try to pop it up around here somewhere. Kind of new at editing too. I've tried to make the video look better for you guys. Try to make the color and stuff look a little better for you. The audio is just awful, I know. I apologize. New creator, new problems. I don't really want to feel that any higher. So at this point, I'm gonna call this good. We just added all this stuff in. Let's give it a quick little swirl here. Just to get that flavoring added in. So really dig in there. Yep. Good. Good to see it. Alright. So I'm going to go on to pasteurizing. It is a pain in the butt. It takes all day if you don't have one of those sous vide things. That's $80 and I just couldn't justify spending. But it did cost me a fermenter. That's a story for another day. But for now, I'll catch you guys in a few when this is done and I'm ready to bottle, and we go for the tasting to see how it finally turned out.